Hello friends, I am Professor Smita Jha and I am here to discuss research methodology in Humanities and Social Sciences. Well, today's topic is types of journal because we have also discussed selection of journals. We know research is a scientific process and publication of paper is the part of this research endeavor. Naturally, the types of journals that we select for our research paper is very important. So, academic journals can be classified based on access to the reader. While subscription journals expect the reader to pay for their content, open access journals are free for the reader. While these two types of journals are complementary, hybrid journals provide flexibility for the researcher who submits their work to the journal. As some journals choose to provide this flexibility, transition journal offer temporary flexibility, ultimately moving towards fully open access. Now, types of journal based on access. Subscription journal. Access to these journals is typically provided through subscriptions, either individual or institutional. Open access journals. These journals provide free and unrestricted access to their content, often funded by authors or institution. Hybrid journal, these journals offer flexibility, allowing authors to publish their work with open access while maintaining subscription based access to some content. Now see the types of journal based on access. Like subscription journal, the reader pays to access the content. Hybrid journal, both subscription and open access options are available. Transition journal, both options are available but ultimately will be fully open access. Open access journal, free access to anyone. Now, there are two main models of open access publishing. Gold open access. Authors pay an article processing charge, APC means article processing charge, to cover the cost of publication. This fee can vary depending on the journal and its publisher. Green OA. Authors self-archive their published articles in publicly accessible repositories, often affiliated with their institutions. While readers may still need to access the original journal via subscription, the research is available through alternative channels. Despite concern about quality of works published in early days, open access journals now employ rigor peer-reviewed processes similar to those of subscription journals, ensuring the validity and scientific merit of published research. Open process offers several advantages, including increased readership and research visibility, enhanced collaboration and knowledge sharing among researchers, potential for faster and dissemination of research finding. The landscape of academic publishing is evolving and open access models are gaining momentum. The debate between subscription and open access models is likely to continue as researcher, publish and funding agencies seek to balance quality, accessibility and financial sustainability in a scholarly communication. Hybrid journals and transition journals occupy a curious space in the ever-evolving landscape of scholarly publishing, existing somewhere between the traditional subscription model and open access ideal. So, these research papers present the findings of original research, often including methods, results and discussion section. So, these articles provide a comprehensive overview of a specific research area or topic, summarizing existing research and highlighting key findings. These articles focus on a specific instance or case, often used to illustrate a phenomenon or explore a particular issue. Short communication and rapid communication. These articles are designed for rapid publication of timely and significant research finding. These articles provide instructions or guidance on a particular method, procedure or technique. These letters provide authors with an opportunity to respond to or comment on previous published articles. Now, national journal. These are the types of journal. These journals operate within a specific country and are not typically aimed at an international audience. Now, international journal, these journals have a broader reach, publishing articles from authors and research institutions worldwide. These journals may focus on a specific areas of research such as case research or the use of a specific tools or method. Mega journals publish a broad variety of research without judging the perceived importance of it. Instead, they look purely at the soundness of the research. Famous mega journals include PLOS One, Scientific Report, and Peer. So, the Open Access Scholarly Published Association is a membership organization that was established in 2008 to represent the interest of open access publishers globally in all scientific, technical, and scholarly discipline. Now, exploring various journal types, although journals can be peer reviewed or non-peer reviewed, the primary focus will be on peer-reviewed journals specifically designed to meet the diverse needs of researchers across discipline. Even within the genre of peer-reviewed journals, there are plenty of options. However, they can broadly be categorized into various types based on how researchers can access or publish. Now, these journals publish peer-reviewed articles based on original research. However, authors should note that several journals primarily focusing on publishing original research articles also consider other article types such as case studies and review articles for publication. Journals falling under this category are considered the backbone of scientific publishing. They cater to certain scientific disciplines or multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary research. Journals belonging to this subset focus exclusively on publishing review articles that offer their target readership a comprehensive summary of the research published on a particular topic or in a particular area of research. Reviews published in these journals are typically peer-reviewed, and they offer deep insights to both early stage researchers and established principal investigators. They are widely read and cited by the research community. Journal publishing case study. The most popular peer-reviewed journal belonging to this category publish articles from the field of medicine. They discuss unique, rare, intricate medical cases that offer valuable insight to practicing clinicians. However, case studies are also published in other disciplines of research such as management, humanities, engineering, and social sciences. A specialty journal. By definition, these are peer-reviewed journals cater to a significant narrowed down or niche area of research. That is cardiology, neurology, biology. They are widely read by specialized audiences from various areas of research. Multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary journal. These peer-reviewed journals publish research that transcends all known discipline-specific boundaries. Articles published in these journals aim to address burning problems by integrating cutting-edge knowledge from across discipline. They foster research collaboration and inclusivity, prioritization of scientific rigor over traditional measure of perceived impact or novelty. These typical peer-reviewed journals offer a platform for publishing research presented at various research conferences. They usually publish conference paper, poster, and abstract. Open access journals provide immediate online access to articles without charging any fees for any such access. They typically opt for article processing charges, usually paid by authors or other affiliated research organizations. Springer Nature journal published by Curious Journal do not have any associated APCs. They only charge editing fee when manuscripts require a certain degree of refinement in language formatting. Article published in open access journal can be freely viewed, downloaded, and shared. Various other subcategories of open access exist. For instance, journal publishing under the Gold Open Access model require APCs to cover publication cost, although reader access the content for fee authors opening for green OA, on the other hand, can self-archive a version of their published paper in various OA repositories. Paywall subscription-based journal, considered the most traditional platform for publishing research. These journals work on a subscription model. Accordingly, researchers or their respective organization are asked to pay a subscription or per article fee to access published research. These journals are usually more selective and prioritize novelty and perceived impact over inclusivity. Many paywall journals like Nature Method now offer open access. Hybrid journal, that is, although these journals usually operate on a subscription based model, they allow authors to pay APCs to make a specific articles often openly accessible to the public. Transformative journal, they are similar to hybrid journals in offering optional OA to author. However, unlike hybrid journal, they proactively support transition to open access. Well, although not a distinct category, certain journals that violate well-established codes of conduct in publishing industry are termed predatory journal. Journals may be labeled as predatory if they meet one or more these criteria. This is very important. First, peer reviewed is non-existent. You need to care about, don't publish your paper in predatory journal. Second, editorial board members are fictitious or included without their explicit consent. Third, revenue generation and business growth are prioritized over article quality. Then, journal metrics and indexing claims are misleading or fabricated. Then, partnership, association, or membership are falsely claimed. Then, publication timelines are ridiculously short. Then, international standard serial number are fake. Then, rigorous quality checks such as plagiarism screening are absent. Lack of meaningful editorial and publishing policies like policies on article retraction. Original research. This is most common type of journal manuscript used to publish full report of data from research. It may be called an original article, research, or just article depending on the journal. The original research format is suitable for many different fields and different types of study. It includes full introduction, methods, results, and discussion section. Now, short reports and letter. These papers communicate brief reports of data from original research that editors believe will be interesting to many researchers and that will likely stimulate further research in the field. As they are relatively short, the format is useful for scientists with results that are time sensitive, for example, those in highly competitive or quickly changing discipline. Review articles. It provides a comprehensive summary of research on a certain topic and a perspective on the state of the field and where it is heading. They are often written by readers in a particular discipline after invitation from the editors of a journal. Reviews are often widely read, for example, by researchers looking for a full introduction to a field and highly cited. Reviews commonly cite approximately 100 primary research articles. So, if you would like to read a review but have not been invited by a journal, be sure to check the journal website, as some journals do not consider unsolicited reviews. If the website does not mention whether reviews are commissioned, it is wise to send a pre-submission inquiry letter to the journal editor to propose your review manuscript before you spend time writing. Case studies. Such articles report scientific instances of interesting phenomena. A goal of case studies is to make other researchers aware of the possibility that a specific phenomenon might occur. Methodologies or method. These articles present a new experiment method, rest or procedure. The method described may either be completely new or may offer a better version of an existing method. The article should describe a demonstrable advance on what is currently available. Personal journal in which learners reflect their own experiences can be written or dictated to a scribe and can include drawing as well as writing. If young children keep a diary, parents should also keep one in order to model the process. Dialogue journals are kept by two people in which written conversation over a variety of topics take place. Now, response journal, reading journal. In reader response journal, learners are asked to respond to some experience and can take variety of forms like noting new vocabulary words, writing about the character they identified with, making prediction about what might happen next, writing about the part they liked, writing about how the reading made them feel, writing about what they would have done in the particular situation described, writing about how they could use what they just read about. Entries may be open-ended or directed, that is, what advice would you give the character? What do you think will happen if this story continued, or how the character is like me? For double entry journals, learners divide their journal page into two parts. In the left hand column, and they write quotes or notes for their reading. In the right hand column, learners write their responses or reaction to the information they have written in the first column. Learning logs, it is also a type of journal in which students reflect on learning experiences they take part in. They can respond to questions they have about the experience or content, reflect on how well they understand the presentation. Understand the journal's audience, make sure that the journal's audience aligns with your expectation is crucial. Get to know the journal policy and procedure. Every journal has its own sets of policies and procedure. This can cover everything from how they conduct peer review to the process for submitting your article. In addition to the journal's own policies, like for example, Taylor and Francis, we have a number of editorial policies that apply across our whole portfolio of journals. Check which article formats are accepted. So, everything is written there before you decide to publish your paper in the journal. Understand your publishing options, consider how you want to publish your research. For example, are you happy for it to be available to journal subscribers only, or do you want it to be open access? Now, there are number of sites where you can get the idea of the journal. So, ask about journal metrics and discoverability. Journal metrics are also an important factor to consider in your decision making. That's why there is some section about journal metrics and how to understand them on page. Alongside how the journal measures up, you might also want to find out how discoverable it is. In other words, how easy it will be for your fellow researcher to find your article. So, the number of authors choosing to publish open access has surged in recent years, with many seeing it as an opportunity to broaden the impact of their work. A number of funders and institutions now also require open access publication of research. Taylor and Francis is one of world's largest publishers of open access research, and this increase the visibility and readership of your research. So, research published open access is available to anyone access the globe. It also demonstrates societal impact. So, there is increasing pressure on researchers to show the societal impact of their research. So, open access can help your work reach new readers beyond those who easy access to research library. Freely share your work with open access. You are free to share your research around the world with no restriction to pay well. Taylor and Francis Open and Routledge Open. So, every new article in this journal is published gold OA, open access. Some of these journals have always published exclusively open access articles, while others are part of our ongoing program converting subscription or hybrid journal to full OA. So, there are usually fees applicable, as we discussed earlier also, but all the information of open access publishing option for each Taylor and Francis and Routledge journal is available in open access cost. So, you will get all information. Are open, you need to find out certain things like, are open access journal good quality? The myth that open access journals are not good quality is perhaps down to the emergence of predatory or fraudulent journal. So, these are journals that don't provide the same quality assurance and service delivered by a reputable journal. So, journal metrics are tools used to measure the performance of impact journal that we have already discussed. So, there is a range of different research metrics available, from the traditional impact factor of the CITE score and beyond. So, impact factor already we discussed that most commonly used metric. Different subjects have varying citation. In science and technical subject, impact factor is very high, but in humanities impact factor is quite low. Then for the first time, the publication of 2022 impact factor journal indexed in arts and humanities indexed, and the emerging source citation index will receive impact factor. How it is calculated number of citations in 1 year to content published in the previous 2 years, number of articles and review published within the previous 2 years. A SNP, that is source normalized impact per paper, is published twice a year. Look at 3-year period. It attempts to correct subject specific characteristic, so it is easier to make cross discipline comparison between journals. It measures citation received relative to citation expected for the subject field. So, how it is calculated? Journal citation count per paper, citation potential in the field. Eigen factor. The Eigen factor measure the influence of journal within the relevant literature over 5 years. A citation from highly cited journal is worth more than one that receives few citation. How it is calculated? The number of citation in 1 year to content published in the previous 5 years weighted the number of articles published within the previous 5 years. So, audience versus impact factor. Should you select a journal that attract more appropriate target audience for your article, or one that has a better impact factor? This is a common debate within the scientific community. Some researchers strongly recommended that you prefer your audience regardless of the impact factor of the journal, as it significantly increases the chances of your paper being evaluated by appropriate reviewers. Also, when your research is read by the right audience, your article gets cited most often. So, the true value of an impact factor, many researchers question the value of journal impact factor. The common argument is that since it doesn't reflect the quality of the research, it is not an appropriate determining factor for an individual's work. So, what is the best approach to choosing a journal? It might seem tempting to select the journal of the highest impact factor. Still, it is essential to evaluate your article objective to determine. Abstracting and indexing, Taylor and Francis is dedicating to making the research we publish as widely discoverable to possible. So, Google Scholar, a simple way to broadly search for Google's scholarly literature, including articles, thesis, books, and abstract. Web of Science, a trusted database for finding book research, journal, and conference proceeding. Scopus, an abstract and citation index that holds a comprehensive overview of the world's research output in the fields of science, technology, medicine, social sciences, and art and humanity. Medline, the U.S. National Library of Medicine database containing more than 26 million references to normal article in life science with a concentration on biomedicine. PubMed, contain more than 30 million citation and abstract or biomedical literature. So, Education Research Abstract Online, that is ERA, a comprehensive database of fully indexed abstract that cover current international research in education, is studied on women and gender abstract, and international abstracting database covering key areas of women's and gender studies, indexing abstracts of article from over 1,325 sources. So, a discovery service is an online tool that enables essay searching from library system across a wide range of content. An abstract is a brief summary of a research article, thesis, review, conference proceeding, or any in-depth analysis of a particular subject, and is often used to help the reader quickly ascertain the article's purpose, aims, and scope. A journal aims and scope statement lays out the objective or purpose of the journal is trying to accomplish and how it will achieve this. APC stands for Article Publishing Charge. So, a journal will promote particular theme or topic by putting out a call for paper, which is a specific ask for submission related to the chosen theme. Citation, a quotation from the reference to a book, paper, author, especially in a scholarly work. So, Creative Commons license is used when you publish your research open access. This dictates what other people can do with your article once it is published. Embargo period in green, open access. The embargo period usually refers to the same period that must elapse over publication before a researcher can make the accepted version of their article openly available in repository. Fully open access journal. A fully open access journal is one where article in the journal is published via gold open access. This means that anyone anywhere can read the article for fee. With this, I conclude the discussion that types of journal, and I think that this will be quite beneficial to you because there are n number of journals. There is a business, but then you have to find out Q1, Q2, Q3, Scopus index, following the high impact factor. And as already I discussed, that you publish less, but publish in a good reputed journal. Numbers are not important that you have 20 papers, but in a very predatory journal. The important point is that you publish 4 or 5 paper, but in Q1 journal. With this, I conclude the discussion. Let us meet in different session with different topic. Till then, thank you.